and this is going to be the last video for 2024 for Christmas movie reviews. This time out, gals and guys, we're going to have some potluck going on here, some breadcrumbs, if you will, scraps from various sites, not focusing on a particular streaming site. There just wasn't a service I could find that hadn't been covered as well as had 5 interesting movies. This time out, I combined all services into movies worth watching. At least that was the plan. As a heads up, I tried to watch the movie The Greatest Story Ever Told, as I thought it would be fascinating. It was a snore fest. The movie is based on the stories found in the Bible, and I found out the Bible does not make a very good movie, at least in this particular case. I also tried to watch Jack in Time for Christmas on Freevee, and that was painful. I made it through about 15 minutes of that crap fest. Perhaps stay away from those 2 movies, if you trust my opinion. Anyways, here are the 5 movies that we're covering, and then of course always down in the description is going to be the links to watch those streaming free films. And of course down below that there's comments, and certainly put in your comments and your thoughts and your ideas, and perhaps share a film that you think is obscure, that's something that could be reviewed for next year. And then here we are. Here's the services we'll be covering for this time out, so let us get started with The Holy Star. Holy Star from 2018, and reading my review here, it's going to seem like this is a negative review, and it really isn't. I really like this movie. The plot was a broke puppeteer returns home for the holidays and gets caught up in a treasure hunt with her paintball-obsessed best friend, her tango-dancing grandmother, and a childhood sweetheart. And the ending was kind of lame. The plot of the movie is this girl having a near-death experience and remembering her grandfather burying something in a plot of land. The entire movie is the main character trying to remember where this buried treasure sits, and then the end, she had a near-death experience again and discovers the treasure is her childhood friend she'd been working for. It just seems stupid and incredibly lame. Beyond the stupid ending, the film was humorous, although the mystery was kind of a cop-out. So what the hell happened to what her grandfather buried? God, that makes me so mad. That was the plot for the entire movie. It was just thrown away. So when the credits were playing, I clicked off the link because I thought we were done. You know? And right when I clicked off, they were digging up whatever the grandfather buried. How was I supposed to know that was going to happen during the credits? Who would have known? Just happened to be clicking off the same time the credit scene started. Who the fucking bright idea was that? The end of the movie makes me so angry. Hulk smash! I had to sit through a dozen commercials once again just to go back and really discover nothing. The whole plot as a whole is kind of stupid and kind of lame and kind of dumb, but the movie, as far as the characters are concerned and the humor, is good. So I do recommend this movie, although it's all over the place, and it is a good Christmas movie. So yeah, take a look this holiday season. All right, time for another dysfunctional family from Home for the Holidays. That's playing on Pluto. That's a 1995 film. Home for the Holidays is a 1995 American family comedy drama film directed by Jodie Foster and produced by Peggy Rajski, R-A-J-S-K-I, and Foster. The screenplay was written by W.D. Richter, based on a short story by Chris Radin. The film follows Claudia Larson, who after losing her job, kissing her ex-boss, and finding out that her daughter has plans of her own for the holidays, departs Chicago to spend her Thanksgiving with her dysfunctional family. Of course, a dysfunctional family. You gotta have a dysfunctional family in the movies or the movie is very uninteresting. The film features an ensemble cast and a great cast, including the great, sexy, beautiful Holly Hunter, the great, sexy, beautiful Robert Downey Jr., Anne Bancroft, Charles Durning, Dylan McDermott, Geraldine Chaplin, Steve Guttenberg, Cynthia Stevenson, Claire Danes, very beautiful Claire Danes, Austin Pendleton, and David Strathairn. Home for the Holidays was released theatrically on November 3rd of 1995 by Paramount Pictures in North America and by Polygram Filmed Entertainment worldwide, and the film received mixed reviews from critics who appreciated Foster's direction and Hunter and Downey's performance but criticized the screenplay. The film grossed $22.1 million against a budget of $20 million. So it's basically, as the namesake is, it's Home for the Holidays, and I say it is a dysfunctional family, and that's basically what you have is the relationships of this family. And the big relationship is Robert Downey Jr. plays a homosexual brother and brings a friend with him to dinner, and they all just assume that the friend is a homosexual, but he turns out not to be, and then he falls in love with Holly Hunter, and there's a whole to-do with that. And then, of course, there's arguments pursue at the dinner table, wounded relationships, mended relationships. We've seen it before, right? But it is a good movie. I did enjoy it. I was entertained, and I do highly recommend this for your holiday viewing. I thought it was good. good. I'm a big Jodie Foster fan. I think she makes great movies. I love Holly Hunter. I think she's just beautiful and a great actress. And Robert Downey Jr., he's the bomb. He's Tony Stark, after all, you know. It had a great cast, great acting. Screenplay was okay. The entire package was good, so I would highly recommend it for your holiday viewing. All right, I'm going to go against the grain on this one because I really didn't think it was a terrible movie. And this one's Surviving Christmas, a 2004 American romantic comedy film directed by Mike Mitchell, written by Harry Alfani, Deborah Kaplan, Jennifer Ventimiglia, and Joshua Sternin. Why did it take 4 people to write that screenplay? Based on a story by Alfani and Kaplan. It stars Benny Fleck, James Gandolfini from The Sopranos fame, Christina Applegate, and Catherine O'Hara. The film was panned by critics and performed poorly at the box office, as it earned $15.1 million worldwide against a budget of $45 million. At the Golden Raspberry Awards, the film received nominations for Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Screenplay, winning neither. I think that's way out of the realm. It wasn't the worst picture. The acting was fine. The screenplay was fine. The movie was fine. Kind of far-fetched, but it's a movie. It's not supposed to be based in reality. If I want reality, like I say every time, I'll go to work. I want stupid fantasy. I want things that can't really happen in real life. That's what movies are for fantasy, to do that. So basically, Ben Affleck, he has no one to hang out with the holidays for. He pretty much burnt all his bridges. So he goes to his childhood home to look around, and then he kind of pays the family to kind of adopt him for Christmas. And of course, their daughter is beautiful, who's doing the adopting, Christina Applegate, and romance ensues. I don't think it was as terrible as they make it out to be. I think it was kind of humorous. I never watched The Sopranos, but James Gandolfini did a good job. Is that how you pronounce his name? James Gandolfini? He passed away a few years ago. Ben Affleck was fine. I think Ben Affleck's a fine actor. I don't really think there's anything wrong with this movie. It's not the best movie in the world. It's not the greatest Christmas movie in the world, but I think it's entertaining. I chuckled a few times, and that's really all I asked for a movie. So I'm against the grain. I don't think it's a terrible movie, and I am going to recommend it for this holiday season. There's another one that was pretty much panned, but I also enjoyed this movie as well. It's Deck the Halls. It's a 2006 American Christmas comedy film directed by John Whitesell and starring Danny DeVito, Matthew Broderick, Kristen Davis, and Kristen Chenoweth. The film was released on November 22nd of 2006 by 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment on DVD on November 6th of 2007. It was a critical and commercial failure. The film was originally titled All Lit Up, and while it was set in the United States, it was shot in Cloverdale, Surrey, Ocean Park, Surrey, and other locations throughout Metro Vancouver. In the scene in which Steve and Buddy are speed skating, those are the characters played by Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick had to train with a real Olympic speed skater for a few weeks before he could film that scene. So basically the plot of this movie is Danny DeVito's just moved across the street from Matthew Broderick, and what he wants is his house at Christmas time, Danny DeVito, to be seen from space. That's his big motivation for this film, and in doing so, he pees off Matthew Broderick because his house is illuminated to, 100th degree. And of course, there becomes a big rivalry between Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito because Matthew Broderick is the Christmas guy, or he was known as the Christmas guy around town, and now all of a sudden, now that Danny DeVito's doing his house up, now he's the Christmas guy. He's the new Christmas guy. So it's a big rivalry between the two. And all through the movie, Danny DeVito's just buying lights and just making his house more ridiculous and more illuminated. And the movie doesn't make you laugh out loud. It gives you a smile on your face. It makes you chuckle inside. It's an okay movie. It's kind of a movie of the week, but with better actors. It's nothing special. It's just like Surviving Christmas. It's nothing a big deal, but it's not terrible. I don't know why it was a critical and commercial failure. I guess I wouldn't go to the theater to see it, but if it was on TV, obviously, which I did, I would watch it. And this one's on Pluto, so you can watch it with commercials, but it's free to stream. I'd recommend it highly. I thought it was enjoyable and a good addition to Christmas viewing. So this is the last movie Christmas review for 2024, and I have to go against the grain again. And unfortunately, I didn't like the last movie that I'm reviewing here. I didn't really like it at all. It's The Grinch, also known as Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. It's a 2018 American animated Christmas comedy film produced by Universal Pictures and Illumination and distributed by Universal. The third screen adaptation of Dr. Seuss's 1957 book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, following the 1966 television special and the 2000 2000 live-action feature-length film, is Illumination's second Dr. Seuss film adaptation after The Lorax, 2012. I didn't even know that was a thing. The plot follows the Grinch, who plans to stop Whoville's Christmas celebration by stealing all the town's decorations and gifts with his pet dog Max. The film was directed by Scott Mosier and Yarrow Shaney. The film stars voices of Benedict Cumberbatch as the title character, with Rashida Jones, oh, the luscious Rashida Jones, Kenan Thompson, Angela Lansbury, and Pharrell Williams, who serves as the narrator. The film was announced in 2013, and by 2016, Cumberbatch was cast as the titular character. The Grinch was released in the United States on November 9th of 2018, and it grossed over $540 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing Christmas film of all time, as well as the highest-grossing Dr. Seuss film adaptation. The film received generally mixed reviews from critics, who praised the animation and the vocal performances, particularly from Cumberbatch, but criticized the lack of creative license, which I totally agree with. This was the final Dr. Seuss film adaptation to be released during the lifetime of Seuss's widow, Audrey Geisel, who served as executive producer of the film and died on December 19th of 2018, 5 weeks after the film's release. And as indicated, I did not like this film. I think my disdain and dislike for this film started with the terrible rendition of the original song from the classic animated short that played on television for years, that 1966 classic. The song in this movie was some crappy hip-hop shit that didn't fit in at all. That was the first red flag that this was going to be a crap fest. And that annoying hip-hop music could continue through the entire film. It just didn't fit in this film, and it's going to really date the film moving forward. That's why all great movies typically use orchestra instrumentals, as they are pretty timeless. I mean, look at Star Wars, Jaws, even Gone with the Wind, for Christ's sake. Hip-hop is not going to be popular forever, so this movie is going to be very, very dated in another 10 years, if not already. And then the Grinch was doing aerobics. How fucking stupid was that? When I saw the Grinch doing aerobics, I knew this movie wasn't going to get much better. It's like the filmmaker sat down and decided, what is the worst choices we could make and put in this film? Oh, I know. Let's have the Grinch aerobicize. It was just so stupid. And then all of a sudden, the Grinch for 50 years, who lived on the hill, decided to ruin Christmas for who's? Just out of the blue. Just, that's 50 years. I'm going to go down and fuck shit up. He just decided one day it was enough. Now, the animation for this film was great. That's the only good thing about this film. I really have disdain for it. I think kids will love it, and adults with kids may enjoy it. I'm not recommending this film due to a multiple of nitpicks. It's just not one thing. It's many things that make this movie terrible. I'll stick to the original animated special from 1966 and the Jim Carrey Ron Howard film, which was more in line with the original source material, and that movie came out in 2000. Both are far superior to whatever this is. So I'm a Grinch towards this Grinch. All the filler has no Dr. Seuss feel to it at all. I mean, you're making an hour-and-a-half movie. The Dr. Seuss is a short story, right? So they have to fill it in with something. The 2000 movie filled it in perfectly. This movie just fills it in with crap. The Who's look like normal people. They don't look like the Who's, and they don't look like anything like their book counterparts. There's, like I said, it's nitpick after nitpick after nitpick, and it just combines into just a terrible experience. Very disappointed in this film. Didn't like it at all. I'm sure the kids will like it because it's loud and obnoxious, and that seems to be the most animated movies these days. They absolutely have to be loud and obnoxious for some reason. I don't recommend this movie. I really don't. I think it sucked. It did really well at the box office, so take what I say, I guess, with a grain of salt. And that's it, gals and guys. That's 7 videos. 7 times 5 is 35 movies I've watched. That's literally all I've done in 2 weeks, is watch movies and edit video and go to my job. That's all I've done. And I slept a little bit. I get up at midnight and I work until about 7, and then I go to work, and then I come home and eat and sleep, and then repeat, rinse and repeat to do these videos because I like doing them. You know, I enjoy doing them, and that's why I do them. So I hope you got some ideas as far as movies to watch for this holiday season out of at least one of these videos. And I do appreciate you if you've happened to watch them and get through them, and hopefully enjoyed some of them. That would be awesome. So please subscribe as always. Of course, that's what that's what us YouTube people say. Subscribe and like, and hit the bell for updates and share and all that cool nonsense. And that's it, gals and guys. I want to wish you a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever the hell else is happening around New Year, Happy New Year's, whatever else is going on around these times. And I appreciate you. I think I probably said that. And I always say that because I do appreciate you. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. I am now going to go to work and come home and take a long nap. All right, gals and guys. Merry Christmas. Peace.